جمعة يعني
بتصير 19
أو 10
النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
From his humbleness, my brother insisting that to make rahmah. And I feel shy, my elder brother, Khalif of Maulana, and of Maulana, I feel shy. I told him I cannot do Sahaba, and in your presence you must do it. But he say, no, tomorrow he's fasting for night and times you do it. So I was obliged to accept the order because ita'ah, to obey, much more better than others. So I am obeying. Samana wa ata'na. And for this I am sitting. I like to sit down, but for my back and my spine for the operation. No, I like even to
sit on the chair.
Grand Sheikh, once we told him, we make for him, me and Sheikh Hisham, a special like cushions, like this, first time. So he came, he said, what is? Take, dig down in the ground, put me down, only my tongue and my eyes to appear. And let me not appear in that way. Like this teaching us humbleness. Yes, now, in share only for the old ones. And I'm old, weak. First of all, we say, Rasul, we say, ask Madad of Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, Sultan of Awliya, Qaddasa Allah Sirrah, and Madad of Granche, and Abdullah Dastani, and Madad from opening from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and from the divinely godly, divinely knowledge to open in our hearts to them, so that we be able to address what we need. As you are reading, I am reading also. So that's also mother of my brother Sheikh Hisham. And mother of all of you also, because you are very sincere murids of Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, and the one who respects the murids of Mawlana Shaykh Nazim really is respecting Mawlana Shaykh Nazim. And the one who loves the murid of Mawlana Shaykh Nazim really loves Mawlana Shaykh Nazim. The one who loves the nation of Rasulullah, he loves Rasulullah. The one,
asking him, he loves me now.
The one who loves servants of Allah Almighty, children of Adam and all creation, he loves Allah Almighty. But to say I love Allah Almighty, love Rasulullah, love Mawlana, but I don't love people. Then Allah will say, I don't need this love. Go ahead. Allah wa ta'ala. And so we say first of all, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, so that Allah will take away shaitan from in between of us. Even must be like this, the divinely high command of Allah Almighty, that shaitan will not approach to any place related to Sultan of Awliya Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, Qaddasa Allah Sirruh, even though we must say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. And we start by the first what Allah started. By what Allah started? By Bismillah الرحمن الرحيم. And Mawlana say in the eternal, just Allah Almighty appearing, the ocean of oneness, of wahdaniyah, of the godly, divinely godly world of life. We address it by Muhammadun Rasulullah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We address Rasulullah by this name, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The first, Allah Almighty addressing Rasulullah after connecting his name, Muhammadun Rasulullah, with La ilaha illallah, because he represents the screen of whatever manifestation or lights appearing from La ilaha illallah, it is then shown on the screen facing La ilaha illallah, which is Muhammadun Rasulullah. He addressed him by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And what there is in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, so it is very powerful, Allah to start everything by it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Even Allah Almighty opening the holy books and the Holy Quran, and which mean opening all the divinely godly teaching, divinely godly words of Allah Almighty by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What is the meaning of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? So important. And when Allah Almighty addressing it to Rasulullah, what is the importance of it? And making it to be one of the names of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The most important name in the uniqueness, in the ahadiyya of Allah Almighty of Rasulullah is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah calling him always there, my Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, his name. Because Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, if you read the Dalail al-Khayrat, you see in the Thursday chapter, they say, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, ha'ir rahmati, wa ni'mal mulk. السيد وذا الدوام السيد الكامل فهذا إلى until the end, which means that Allah Almighty is presenting by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in it Allah Almighty endorsing, making everything to enter the malakut of Allah Almighty, the dominion and reality of everything in the divinely godly word of command of Allah Almighty, making it in the name of Rasulullah, and making all the kingdom of Allah Almighty in the name of Rasulullah, and making the oceans of mercies of Al-Rahman in the name of Rasulullah, making the oceans of Al-Rahim, the most merciful, in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and dressing it Rasulullah to be representing it continuously from pre-eternal to eternal. And for this Allah Almighty dressing him by this name, and making his name the first M in Muhammad with Allah, symbolizing the malakut, the kingship of Allah Almighty, and the ha, and there is the shadda, which means two ha together, Allah putting them together, referring to Al-Rahman and the Al-Rahim, to Rahman and Rahim of Allah Almighty, ocean of the Rahman, the mercies, and ocean of the most merciful Al-Rahim. And the second M means representing the kingdom, the mulk of Allah Almighty. And the dal in Arabic da'imi, which means continuously. You are continuously my kingship, my kingdom, my Rahman, my Rahim, oceans of mercies and most merciful, from pre-eternal to eternal, my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah Almighty endorsing them and concealing in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, hiding his greatest name. It contains the greatest name of Allah Almighty. And the greatest name of Allah Almighty only was given to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not to anyone else. And Rasulullah was inheriting it to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, from one Siddiq, which means one grand sheikh, to another, till nowadays Sultan of Awliya, the Siddiq of this time, Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, Allah Ta'ala darajatihim daiman wa abada. Allah Almighty didn't mention his greatest name, but he hiding in Bismillah ar-Rahman, concealed, because the ism, batni, the ism, by the name, which is hidden, not appearing, which is known to you in the maqam of wahdaniyya by Allah, the name which is in it including all names and attributes, by this greatest name which known to every one of you as Allah, the Al-Rahman Al-Rahim. Allah Almighty starting the Al-Rahman and which I am from this name going to appear all the kingdom, all kingdoms, heavenly kingdoms, earthly kingdoms, and the Rahim, which Allah Almighty going to submerge all the mistakes and the badness of everyone in this ocean, so that Yawm al-Qiyamah all they will be mercy by Allah Almighty, mercying them, cleaning them, purifying them, and by the shafa'ah of His beloved Muhammad, who represents Bismillah, الرحمن الرحیم, will be presented to Allah Almighty as if they are lights and shadows of Allah Almighty. Because the greatest name of Allah Almighty, don't think that the name of Allah Almighty, the name of a creator, can enter into a created thing. Can be? Cannot. Creator. Can a created thing carry even the name of the essence of Allah Almighty, or the name of the hidden treasure, or the absolute identity of Allah Almighty? Never. Because letters, they are created things for this life, for the kingdom of Allah Almighty, so that to be expressed to all creation by them what Allah wants from them. But the real greatest name of Allah Almighty, which given to Himself, is uncreated and cannot be carried by a created letters. And so the real greatest name of Allah Almighty is a revelation from Allah Almighty, from the essence of Allah Almighty, by revelation, without talking, given from heart to heart to beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Rasulullah the first was to ask Allah Almighty in three eternal, by what name I will make dhikr to you, Allah Almighty. And He gave him His name, which never entered into letter, by revelation, wahy. Revelation, wahy mean given from one to another without talking, without any speaking to the other, only from self to self, from heart to heart, from self to self. Allah Almighty has self, yes, has self. No. Rasulullah has self, yes, Rasulullah has self. Every one of you has a self. Every creation, malaika, children of Adam, jinn, animals, everyone has a self. And Allah Almighty has a self. But people and mankind and children of Adam and jinn, they have plugged the self-ego. And for this, Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, when Allah Almighty, He told him, as He mentioning in the Holy Quran, you told my people to worship you, أنت قلت للناس اتخذوني وأمي إلهين من دون الله, take me and my mother as a gods beside Allah Almighty. So, oh my dear Allah Almighty, beloved Allah Almighty, if I said so, you know, because you know everything. You create me and you create all my deeds. You know what is going even on myself, but never I know what is going on yourself, which Allah Almighty showing to all in the Holy Quran that He has a self, but it is a godly self, not a created self. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has a self, but a Muhammadi self, not a created self, godly self from Allah Almighty. And for everyone has a godly self, has a Muhammadi self, and he has all 7 maqams of self, every one of us. And for this, the first self which you have, they called it the ego, which is the ammaratum bisu, which ordering you always to be following the traps and the steps of shaitan, to follow him. As Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, he said, وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ. I am not saying that myself is very innocent. No, I am guilty, because the self always ordering. There is a self in everyone ordering for everyone to commit badness in the divine presence of Allah Almighty. And He is a prophet and a messenger, and saying so about us. Then Allah Almighty dressing another self for everyone, and this self is the blaming self, which blame you. Why you did this? Do this, don't do this. Say astaghfirullah. Why you are doing things against the will of Allah Almighty? Why you are following shaitan? The second self. Then Allah Almighty, the one who will proceed and progress in the way of Allah Almighty, Allah will dress him by a self called Al-Mulhima, which inspire you from Allah Almighty, dressing you by malaika, coming inspiration, like revelation. Allah will send to your heart revelation by this self, do this, do that, and if you follow, then you will go to the higher station. وَلَتَرْكَبُنَّ طَبَقًا عَنْ طَبَقٍ, Maulana say, which means in the Holy Quran, which means Allah Almighty, the one who following the mulhima, the one giving inspiration from Allah Almighty, revelation, and following, it will make him to be always ascending from one heaven to another heaven of the divine, the kingship and spiritual heavens of Allah Almighty. Then Allah Almighty bless everyone when he reached to that heaven, which is Allah is now happy from the one of us. He will dress him by the self, يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة, by the self which always dressed by Allah Almighty to be in peace, mutma'inna, peaceful, always, no more war inside your chest, no more war inside you between your soul and your ego, no more war inside you between the heart and shaitan and between the soul. If you would be then like an ocean. And for this Allah Almighty say, Maulana say, only this come to you by what? أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبُ. Only by zikrullah. Allah make the heart to be, and this, to be dressed by this self, peaceful one, no more war inside, only lights of Allah Almighty will be dressed to you. Then if you go higher, and higher, and higher, then Allah will make it راضية, the nafs which is راضية, رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه. Allah, شو معنى رضي الله يعني Allah is satisfied and pleased from you, and they are pleased and satisfied from Allah Almighty. Will dress you by this self, satisfied self from Allah Almighty, which Allah Almighty always happy from the one who is dressed by this satisfied self, and ordering all malaika of heavens and earths, malaika carrying this throne. Look, the one who is dressed by this self, who is satisfied and pleased from me, and I am pleased from him and satisfied. All your glorification, all your good deeds, all your praising, write it on the books of this servant of me who is dressed by this self, pleased from Allah Almighty and satisfied, and Allah will promote him then to the fifth level, which is Al-Mardiyah. You are now dressed by a self which Allah Almighty all the time dressing you by His satisfaction, pleasing from you, and also Allah dress you by all means of Ridwanullah al-Akbar. You will be under the Ridwanullah al-Akbar, and this the higher stage which can all 40 ways can reach the Imam of that. Over this, no one can reach except Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and all Grand Sheikhs and their murids. If they like the Grand Sheikh to make his murid to reach to the upper stage, he will do for special of them or for all of them. But Yawm al-Qiyamah, it will be for all of them. Then Allah will bless you after this, which Allah is dressing you by Ridwanullah al-Akbar, by this self, that all the time under Ridwanullah al-Madhiyah, which is acceptable by Allah Almighty, He will finish then your humanity, making you to be surviving by Muhammadi life, by light from the divine ocean of wahdaniyah, of oneness of Allah Almighty, Muhammadun Rasulullah, and you will be dressed by a self which is called self, Muhammadi self, which is called self from wahdaniyah, oneness of Allah Almighty will be dressed to you. And then you will be swimming in the ocean of Rasulullah, in the ocean of the lives of Rasulullah. Like all 40 branches, you will be then joining them in these oceans, in the oceans of love and beautiness of Muhammad Rasulullah. And then Allah Almighty will make Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to lead you and to ascend you to the last heaven, which reaching to the 2 poles or less between you and Allah Almighty by the Imamiyyah of seal of Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as Rasulullah reached in the night journey, and there no more you are existing, no humanity there, only their lights of Allah Almighty. You will come to be baqin fillah, fani fillah. Allah will bless you from His uncreated godly self by a godly self to you. And then you will be dressed by attributes and names, by lights of the holy essence, from the holy essence of Allah Almighty, from the lights of the shining face, lights coming from the holy face of Allah Almighty. Then you will be a shadow, you will be surviving by godly life from Allah Almighty. You are Khalif of Allah Almighty, representing Allah Almighty. You will be crowned by the greatest name of Allah Almighty, which will not enter into letters, and then you will be a one who making zikr by this name which never entering into letters. You will make the zikr by the name which Allah Almighty giving it as a revelation to the reality of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in when Allah Almighty appearing the reality of Rasulullah from the divinely godly word of command as a godly word of life of Allah Almighty. And for this Allah Almighty saying, Allahu Nuru Samawati wal Ard, I am the light of heavens and earth. And the example of my light, because Allah cannot be described, He is describing the example of His light, which means describing the light of Muhammad and Rasulullah, which is the example of the light of Allah Almighty. And then you will be a light from the lights of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which then you will be, as Allah Almighty saying, representing this ayah of the Holy Quran, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا, the one who will do his best in the Sharia, in the approaching to Allah Almighty. Allah will reach you to a point, then He will open for you His ways to reach to Allah Almighty. And for this all 40 ways lead you to the maqam of the wahdaniyah, of oneness of Allah Almighty, while the way of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq lead you to be busy with the essence of Allah Almighty by dressing a self from Rasulullah, Muhammadi self, and by dressing a godly self from Allah Almighty, uncreated self. And then you will be busy by the essence of Allah Almighty. And this only for Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and for all 40 branches and to their murids to reach that maqam by seclusions and by their eyes, looking at them by their eyes sight, coming from the eyes of Unai Shaykh Nazim, branches to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. You will change the one from a human being one, to be a divinely one, to be dressed by his dominion, because Allah Almighty says the dominion of everything, praise me, be to me, whom the dominion or reality of everything is in my hand, and you are returning to me. They will make you to take your reality from the hand of Allah Almighty, and you will be then swimming in the ocean of realities, of beautiness of Allah Almighty, of majesty of Allah Almighty, of the will of Allah Almighty, beautiness of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then you will be dressed from Allah Almighty, from His eye to your eye, from His tongue to your tongue, from His ears to your ears. He will be your eyes, He will be your ears, He will be your tongue, He will be your hand, He will be your feet. He will be then muhaymin, totally covering you, that you will be a one whom, if you say to something be, it will be, because you are dressed by the power of Allah Almighty. And for this, everyone is invited to swim in this ocean of lights of Allah Almighty, as all orbits, all galaxies, all planets, sun, moon, everything is swimming in what? They are swimming, all of them, in everyone rotating in its orbit, but all of them swimming in Qudratullah, in the power of Allah Almighty, on the almightiness of Allah Almighty. And for this, you will see, if you go up from the earth, everything, it will be then black. Is there any light up? Over the space? In space, what is the color of? Where all galaxies swimming? It's totally black. It's not? Not darkness, but black. All black. Sun, they say, as the hadith say, it is in the fourth heaven, and giving light. Why the earth is lightened when the sun rises till sunset, and why all the space where the sun rays are crossing, they are not lightened, or they are still there up is dark, light, black, and the sun is rotating in its orbit and only giving lights on every planet rising on it, while all the space is still black, no light in it. Why? Why? And how only the rays coming to the earth, or to Venus, or to Saturn, or to moon, or like this, that, but all of them around them, over their atmosphere, is totally black, and they are rotating in black. Why? Allah Almighty saying, I am choosing the heart of every children of Adam alayhi salam to be my house, and even all prophets, all awliya, everyone, when they open their mouth and talk, and inside them, inside the heart, all black. And if it is the house of Allah Almighty, must be light. Why is that? Why, when you open your mouth, coming black? Not no light. Why now we are looking at all your face light? Now, think about it, and tomorrow ask me. One number.